dinggin natin ito hanggang 30th ng June. Pwede. Huwag lang tayo lalagpas doon sapagkat hindi na pwede.
Correct.
Okay, ngayon, ito yung tanong ko. Yung sa respondent, meron siyang apparently 10 days para sumagot, di ba? Hindi pa na-file na ba sa Committee on Rules dito?
Not yet.
So, has she been notified already of what she has to face and has the 10 days started? Not yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay, so meaning, if let's say we start on the 11th, which is Wednesday, or even tomorrow, which is the 10th, so hindi pa talaga sila pwedeng humarap hanggang 20th. Kasi 10 days eh. Di ba? So, pwede ba tayo magkaroon ng hearing na yung respondent ay hindi pa ready with her reply? I mean, is there a process within the impeachment that does not require the respondent to be present yet? It's just the presentation of, I don't know, evidence. I mean, this is just a parliamentary query.
Meron po kasi magko-constitute nga as an impeachment court at manunumpa. Manunumpa yung Senate President as the presiding officer of the trial court. Manunumpa rin po lahat tayo.
So hanggang panunumpa lang. How about the presentation of evidence? Pwede ba?
Wala pa ho. Wala pa ho. Yung presentation ng articles of impeachment to be done by the panel of prosecutors. Yung susunod-sunod, pag nagkaroon na ng joinder of issues after the submission of the answer, doon na po matitrigger po yung iba. Yung prosecution has the right to reply.
Oo.
Tapos sunod-sunod na po yun.
So ang ibig sabihin, after the swearing in and then reading of the articles of impeachment, may break ng 10 days. Kasi iintayin pa natin yung sagot eh.
Correct.
Okay, so wala din naman mangyayari. So, what the gentleman is saying na pwede natin to stretch until the end, hindi rin eh. Kasi 10 days na lang din ang matitira from let's say the 10th until the 30th. 10th, 20th, 20 days.
21st to 30th.
21.
I filed
20 days.
Yes.
20 days. So 20 days.
I filed an indicative calendar just to show Mr. President na sa taong bayan na hindi naman natin nakaligtaan yung ating trabaho.
Hindi, pero tama. Pero the
iniwan
actual,
nating nakatiwangwang.
Tama. But the actual discussions can't begin until after the earliest, the 21st. Diba? Kasi wala pang response.
Correct,
yun lang, yan. Yun lang
correct po yun. Pero yung sa yung submission of trial briefs, June 22, etc., until the rendition of a verdict, Mr. President.
Pwede ba yun? Parang budget, yung wala nang matutulog para lang tapusin yun?
Siguro po, kung with the cooperation and physical, kung papayag po kayo, kung papayag din po ang prosecutors.
No, but kasi I'm also of the opinion, okay? Well, first of all, we cannot make judgments right now. Yeah. And I feel that it is the right of the respondent to be able to defend herself.
Correct.
And in fact, we can never say whether guilty or not kasi hindi pa nga natin alam eh.
Correct.
And the respondent herself is saying na give her a chance also to be able to confront. I mean, she's confident about it. But I agree with the minority leader that kung yung Senate Electoral Tribunal, which is actually, of national interest, but maybe not as much as this one, na itatawid natin for other congresses, and even in the US, natatawid din yung impeachment to the next Congress. I know what you're saying. There's no term limit in the US. Pero I think, again, may mga nakausap akong members of who served before in the Supreme Court. This is a political exercise. It's not, I guess, it's not bound by very strict rules of court. So, yun lang. But we appreciate what the minority leader is also raising because nga naman, I mean, these are two schools of thought, but we are all in agreement here that we cannot make judgments at this point, but we have to definitely hear it. Thank you.
We totally agree. Mr. President, the good Deputy Minority Leader is seeking the floor. I move that she be recognized.
With the permission of
Senator Ontiveros, Senators Estrada and Gatchalian also raised their hand to be recognized, and they haven't been heard. Will the lady kindly
Yes.
yield to them?
I apologize, Mr. President. Senator Gatchalian raised his hand first. I move that he be recognized. With the permission of Senator Ontiveros.
Senator Gatchalian is recognized. What is your pleasure, sir?
Actually, Mr. President, I'll be more than happy to yield to our good Deputy Minority Leader, Mr. President. Go ahead.
That being the case, the Honorable Ontiveros is recognized. You may proceed, ma'am.
Salamat, Mr. President, at salamat sa good gentleman from Valenzuela. Paalala ko lang po yung motion ng minority leader ay to convene at this very moment. At gusto kong ibalik sana yung atensyon ng lahat doon. Pero dun sa sinabi na rin naman ni Majority Leader, binanggit nila yung ilang mga kaso na dinesisyon na ng Korte Suprema, and these are Chavez versus Judicial and Bar Council at saka Pimentel Jr. versus Joint Committee of Congress, kung saan sinabi lang naman ng Korte Suprema dun sa una that impeachment is a non-legislative function of the Senate. At dun sa pangalawa, that non-legislative functions of the Senate are not affected by the shift between Congresses. Hindi po nag-distinguish ang Korte Suprema sa sinasabing periodic at saka non-periodic functions. Basta sinabi niya non-periodic functions tulad ng impeachment, na ito non-legislative functions ng Senado at ang mga ito ay hindi apektado sa shift between Congresses. Pero yun na nga po, yan ay isang desisyon na pwede nating kunin at a later point in the impeachment trial. Ang unang gusto lamang i-activate ng motion ng minority leader ay sa pamamagitan nga ng motion niya to convene at this very moment. And bago ko tapusin itong intervention, Mr. President, at ibalik nga sa motion ng minority leader, quick comment lang dun sa ni-raise ng good gentleman from Davao dahil nakabalik na rin sila sa floor tungkol po sa kagustuhan ng Pilipino, no, at iba pa dito sa usapin ng impeachment trial. Gaya ng sinabi ng minority leader kanina, hindi pa naman tayo nag-uusap ng conviction ba o acquittal. Pinag-uusapan pa lang natin yung pag-convene ng impeachment court. Kaya ano yung masamang maidudulot ng panunumpa natin. At ito, kailangan nating desisyonan. Yes, alang-alang sa taong bayan, lahat po tayo ay mayroong hindi lang karapatan pero responsibilidad, pag-isipan at pag-usapan ang taong bayan. So lastly, again, Mr. President, ibalik ko lang dun sa motion ng minority leader, which is simply and importantly to convene at this very moment. Salamat, Mr. President.
Senator Gatchalian is recognized. Thereafter, Senator Estrada.
Maraming salamat. Thank you very much, Mr. President. It's a brief manifestation, Mr. President. Dapat ho maintindihan ng ating mga kasamahan at ng ating mga kababayan na pinag-uusapan ho natin ngayon ay hindi pa ho yung merits nung kaso. Hindi pa ho natin pinag-uusapan yung kaso mismo ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Ang pinag-uusapan lang ho natin ngayon yung ating constitutional duty under Article 11, Section 3, Number 4. Na kung saan, pag na-transmit na ho sa atin ang Articles of Impeachment ng House of Representatives, Senado na po ang mag-hold ng trial. Ito po ang sinumpaang responsibilidad ho natin sa ilalim ng saligang batas. At ito rin po ang sinumpaan ho nating duty or solemn duty nung tayo po ay naging senador. Natatandaan ko nung 3 years ago, nanumpa ho tayo to support and defend the Constitution. Kaya mga kasama, dapat ho natin maintindihan na ito rin po ay parte ng proseso ho natin pagdating ho sa accountability. At napakahalaga po ang proseso. Para sa akin, ang proseso ay isang bagay na dapat ho natin sundin dahil ito po ang magpapatibay po ng ating sistema ng demokrasya. Kung titignan ho natin, hindi malayong lugar, dito po sa Asia, sa South Korea, kung nagkaroon rin ho sila ng impeachment process ho doon. Yung kanilang Pangulo ay na-impeach. At nung yun po ay nangyari, katulad rin po sa atin, marami rin po lumabas sa kalsada, Marami rin pong nagpapahiwatig ng kanilang saloobin at mukhang magulo pag nanonood ho tayo ng telebisyon. Pero kung tatanungin ho natin yung mga investors, tatanungin din ho natin mga kaibigan ho nating South Korean, kampante ho sila na hindi ho mangyayaring isang napakalalang gulo sa kanilang lugar dahil alam nila ang proseso ay nasusunod. Yung proseso ng impeachment sa kanilang bansa ay nasusunod. At ganun nga ho ang nangyari. No, nagkaroon ho ng pagdinig, na-impeach yung kanilang Pangulo, nagkaroon ho ng isang pagboto ng bagong presidente at ngayon, balik na ho sila sa normal. Kaya mga kasama, ang aking punto ho dito ay ang proseso ay napakahalaga para po maging matibay po ang sistema ng demokrasya ho natin at higit sa lahat magkaroon ng malinaw na pananagutan ang mga personalidad na binigyan ho natin ng tiwala para po manilbihan sa ating bansa. Hindi lang po ang impeachment ay hindi lang po limitado sa Presidente at Vice President. Kasama ho dito members of the Supreme Court, members of the Constitutional Commission, ang Ombudsman ay kasama ho dito. Kaya kung ano po ang ginagawa ho natin ngayon, ay ganun rin pong pananugutan na gagawin ho natin sa ibang personalidad kung sila po ay magkakasala. Kaya mga kasama muli, ito po ay hindi na po nating desisyon o hindi na po nating choice. Ito po ay ang ating constitutional duty at ito po ay ang ating sinumpaan na responsibilidad nung tayo po ay naging senador. At meron po rin akong isang katanungan sa ating minority leader, no, ang movant nitong motion ho natin. May mga narinig rin po ako sa television kanina na ito pong articles of impeachment ay tila merong constitutional infirmity. At gusto ko siyang tanungin dahil hindi lang ho dahil siya po ay movant, alam ko nag-top rin ho siya sa bar once upon a time. Kaya gusto ko malaman gusto ko marinig ang kanyang opinion na meron ba hong kapangyarihan ang Senado para po desisyonan kung ang articles of impeachment ay dapat po dinggin o hindi dinggin dahil po sa mga komplikasyon or constitutional infirmities na opinion po ng ibang mga abogado.
Senator Pimentel may respond.
Yes, yes. Since I also want to respond, Mr. President. Well, I'm proceeding from my analogy of the Senate as a court, as the impeachment court. So meaning to say, we will allow the respondent or the impeached officer to put all of his or her objections against the case, against her in her answer to the articles of impeachment. Lagay niya lahat doon. So therefore, if that is now my answer to the gentleman, that means that we can resolve such an issue as the impeachment court. So tama yung motion ko. If there is such let's convene. Kasi actually it's really more compliant with the Constitution eh. As soon as possible, convene na natin yung court. And then ulitin ko, ang purpose natin today is for the presiding officer to take his oath, for the presiding officer to administer our oath, to call the case against the Vice President, and then we can come up with the calendar for the trial of the said case. So part na dun sa trial, sa calendar for the trial of the said case, kailan mag-a-appear ang House panel of prosecutors. Okay, if it will not touch the original plan of the Senate President, that means a Wednesday pa yun so June 11, Wednesday ng 4 p.m. But of course, we as a court, we can advance that appearance. Simple communication lang naman yun or notice to them to to come here tomorrow. Kunyari, if should my motion prevail.
But such an allegation of that the articles of impeachment is constitutional infirm and therefore should not be heard, is that within the ambit or within the jurisdiction of the impeachment court to determine under the Constitution and also as well as under our rules?
Well, in the name of due process and to be fair to the respondent or the impeached officer, we should allow that person to put everything there, lahat ng objections niya against the case against her or him. So, lagay niya lahat doon. Ngayon, we can now debate now as a court. Ang reading ko kasi, trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. We will not entertain any motion to dismiss because we should try. But at the end of the proceedings, when we make our judgment, we can, of course, incorporate into our way of thinking, in our reasoning, to help us come up with our final judgment or the judgment to the final question, we can use the arguments presented by the parties.
Thank you, Mr. President. Without going into too much detail of the procedures, I'd like to thank the good minority leader for his enlightenment, and of course we respect his legal intellect, considering that he has topped the bar examination once upon a time. And once again, I thank the body for listening to this representation's manifestation. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Gatchalian. Senator Estrada? Yes, what is the pleasure of
Thank
our
you.
Senate President Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a question addressed to the Minority Floor Leader, Mr. President, if I may. If and when the motion of the Minority Floor Leader prevails and is approved by this August chamber, aside from the Senate President taking his oath and the Senate President administering his oath to all of us, what will happen next?
Well, that means we have convened the court. And then we will have to ask our clerk of court if we have a case load. Call the case. The clerk of court, who is the Secretary of the Senate, will report to us that we have a case. And then, since we have already convened the court, we should take advantage of the convening of the court by coming up with the calendar for the trial of the said case.
And then after which?
After that, we will follow the agreed upon calendar.
So we will, this August chamber will convene as an
The calendar.
impeachment court and will try the case during the vacation, during our vacation, because we are not deliberating on any legislative matter. Am I correct, Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. President, we will follow now the agreed upon calendar for the trial of the case. So, convene muna nga tayo ng court, then we will now talk about the details of the calendar.
So we
So
will
you can win
not
it.
discuss any merits of the case. Am I correct? For now.
For now, yes. For now. Yun lang po yung purpose nun. Let us say, four purposes, four objectives. Why we can convene as a court or why we should convene as a court today. Number one, the Senate President will take his oath as the presiding officer. Then we will take our oath before the Senate President. We will call the case against the Vice President and we will now come up with the calendar on how we will try the case.
May I know
Sunod,
what is,
susundin natin yun.
may I know, Mr. President, what is the difference if we convene today, tomorrow, or on Wednesday?
Yes, Mr. President, una sa lahat, Mr. President, alam nyo ba ang nakaschedule na bukas ay valedictory speeches? At saka, hindi na natin alam anong nakaschedule bukas. Ngayon, ang pag sinabi ng Constitution, trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. Hindi ba mas compliant tayo, not only with the words, but with the spirit of the Constitution, if we now advance now the convening of the court at umpisahan na natin yung mga preliminaries or formalities na kailangan din naman natin gawin. Let us convene the court, Mr. President, kaysa sa nagla-last day pa tayo na may agam-agam pa na baka during the session as a legislative body, merong motions dyan or issues dyan which will now eat up our time. Tapos darating na yung 12 midnight deadline na, Mr. President. And nangyari yun because nung Tuesday ay pinuno na lang natin yung ating agenda para may magawa tayo. Although valedictory speeches are important, no? Kasi para marinig nyo nga yung thank you naman namin sa lahat po ng maiiwan. But we could do that on Wednesday. So, my position is, it is more in keeping with the spirit. I'm more concerned, I'm more compliant with the spirit and wording of the Constitution if we now convene as an impeachment court and do these important matters also in the organization of the Senate as the impeachment court.
The chair will relinquish my position in a while in order to speak in plenary, on the floor rather. But just to answer that point of the Honorable Pimentel, kaya po in-schedule ang valedictory bukas dahil nakaschedule po yung impeachment nga dapat sa Wednesday. Mahabang usapin yon, kinilala namin yon, kaya bukas in-schedule yon. Kung gagawin ngayon, edi natural, huling araw yon sa Wednesday. Dahil hindi pa natin alam ng mga panahong yon kung kaya na nga ba ng hanggang Lunes na maratify lahat ng mga hinahabol nating panukalang batas. Just for the record, and lest aspersions be cast na magbabaliktorin na kayo, hindi pa nyo ginagawa, because that was the schedule and nobody questioned it until today. So that was scheduled supposedly on that date. But just on that point, Senator Estrada may proceed.
No, I have no more questions.
Yes,
I think the Senate President has already voiced out his own opinion during one of his press conferences.
But I'd rather say it on the
Yes.
record here too, Your Honor. Senator Tulfo intimated to this representation his desire to speak on the matter as well.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a very short manifestation. Naalata ko kanina pa tayo back and forth, para nag-aaway na tayo dito. To solve the impasse siguro, we'll have to put it in a vote whether to convene today or tomorrow. Somehow we have to convene come what may. Magbutuhan na lang tayo para matapos na. Baka abutin tayo hanggang madaling araw, hindi pa rin natin napag-alalaman kung ano talaga ang dapat gawin natin. Let's do it. Let's put it in a vote. Tonight ba tayo magbutuhan or tomorrow? I mean, magbubutuhan tayo whether we convene today or tomorrow. That's it, plain and simple, para matapos na ang problema natin dito ngayon.
Duly noted.
Today or Wednesday? Kasi there are senators who want it to be on Wednesday. May mga senador na gusto ngayon. Let's put it in a vote. Pero somehow we have to convene come what may. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr.
We
President.
will, Your Honor. Being a deliberative body, parliamentary practice rules dictate that we do nothing less, that things be settled through a vote. In fact, there is a pending motion by the minority leader that will be redefined and clarified. However, Chair thought it best to allow a free and fair debate where all of the members will be heard who have an opinion on this matter before finally deciding on the point. Now, if there are no other members who wishes to add to the discussion or debate, Chair would like to ask permission to relinquish the chair so that the chair can go down and speak also on the same matter. Session is suspended.
Session suspended.
De La Rosa, Ejercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Poe, Revilla, Tolentino,
Yes.
Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 21 affirmative votes, 0 negative, 0 abstention, House Bill number 10535 is approved on third reading. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 7500. This is the bill on the establishment of aquaculture feed mill plant in Panay, Capiz. So moved, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved. Senate Secretary is directed to comply and to proceed to roll call vote.
Anak establishing an aquaculture feed mill plant in Bahit, Apanay, Capiz. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Poe, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 21
Anak converting the Bao Community College in Bao, Province of Camarines Sur into a state college to be known as the Rinconada State College. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Poe, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstention, House Bill number 9314 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 9642. This is the bill on the Aurora State University of Science and Technology Charter. So move, Mr. President.
An objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Anak converting the Aurora State College of Technology in Baler, Aurora into a state university. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Poe, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative, 23, I stand corrected. With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstention, House Bill number 9642 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 11162. This is the bill establishing the Aurora Medical Center in Baler, Aurora. So move, Mr. President.
An objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Anak converting the Aurora State College of Technology in Baler into a state university to be known as Aurora State University of Science and Technology. Into a state university to be known as Aurora State University of Science and Technology. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda. Sir JB, next.
Approved. This on third reading. May
Number
we proceed
25.
to the next one? House Bill number 9155.
25.
I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 9155. This is the bill on the renewal of franchise of PEC Broadcasting Corporation. So move, Mr. President.
An objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Anak renewing for another 25 years, the franchise granted to PEC Broadcasting Corporation under RA 8685. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Poe, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstention, House Bill number 9155 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
I move to consider third reading House Bill number 10698. This is the bill granting electric franchise to Camarines Sur 4 Electric Cooperative Incorporated or Casureco 4. So move, Mr. President.
An objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Anak granting the Camarines Sur 4 Electric Cooperative a franchise for the conveyance of electric power to the end users in the province of Camarines Sur. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Poe, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstention, House Bill number 10698 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
I move to consider in third reading House Bill number 11042. This is the bill granting electric franchise to First Laguna Electric Cooperative Incorporated or FLECO. So move, Mr. President.
An objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Anak granting a franchise to First Laguna Electric Cooperative Inc., FLECO, for the conveyance of electric power to the end users in the province of Laguna. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Ligarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Paul, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstention, House Bill number 11042 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
I move to consider third reading House Bill number 11189. This is the bill on the Barangay Ayala Alabang in Muntinlupa. So move, Mr. President.
An objection, there being none, motion is approved.
An act renaming Barangay New Alabang Village in Muntinlupa as Barangay Ayala Alabang. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Poe, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstention, House Bill number 11189 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
I move to consider third reading House Bill number 4839. This is the bill declaring a special working holiday in Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu. So move, Mr. President.
An objection, there being none, motion is approved.
An act declaring June 17 of every year special working holiday in Lapu-Lapu, province of Cebu. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Paul, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstention, House Bill number 4839 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
I move to consider third reading House Bill number 9601. That this is the bill on Bataan High School for Sports Act. So move, Mr. President.
An objection, there being none, motion is approved.
An act establishing a high school for sports in Bagak, Bataan, to be known as the Bataan High School for Sports. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Paul, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstention, House Bill number 9601 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
I move to consider third reading House Bill number 9602. This is the bill on Baybay City High School for Sports Act. So move, Mr. President.
An objection, there being none, motion is approved.
An act establishing the Baybay City High School for Sports in Baybay, Leyte. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Poe, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstention, House Bill number 9602 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
I move to consider third reading House Bill number 11038. This is the bill establishing Doos del Norte National High School in Leyte. So move, Mr. President.
An objection, there being none, motion is approved.
An act establishing a national high school in Doos del Norte, Hindang, Leyte, to be known as Doos del Norte National High School. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Paul, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative, 0 abstention, House Bill number 11038 is approved on third reading. Majority Floor Leader.
I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 11185. This is the bill establishing the Tanay National High School in Tanay, Rizal. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, Secretary is directed to comply and to proceed to roll call vote.
An act establishing a national science high school in Tanay, Rizal, to be known as the Tanay National Science High School. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Poe, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative, 0 abstention, House Bill number 11185 is approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
I move to consider third reading House Bill number 11167. This is the bill on the Alegria Integrated School in Barcelona, Sorsogon. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved. Secretary is directed to comply and to proceed to roll call vote.
And now converting the Alegria Elementary School in Alegria, Barcelona, Sorsogon into an integrated school to be known as Alegria Integrated School. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Poe, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative, 0 abstention, House Bill number 11167 is approved on third reading. Majority Floor Leader?
I move to consider third reading House Bill number 11351. This is the bill on the Patag Integrated School in Sorsogon.
The school in Patag, Irosin, province of Sorsogon, into an integrated school to be known as the Patag Integrated School. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Po, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative, 0 abstention, House Bill number 11351 is approved on third reading. Majority Floor Leader?
Mr. President, I move to approve on third reading House Bill number 11299. This is the bill recognizing the Singapore School of Cebu as an educational institution. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved. Secretary is directed to comply into procedural call vote.
An act recognizing Singapore School Cebu as an educational institution of international character and granting certain prerogatives conducive to its development and growth. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Po, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative, 0 abstention, House Bill number 11299 is approved on third reading.
Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 11300. This is the bill recognizing the Singapore School Clerk as an educational institution. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, Senate Secretary is directed to comply into procedural call vote.
An act recognizing Singapore School Clerk as an educational institution of international character and granting certain prerogatives conducive to its development and growth. Call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Po, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative, 0 abstention, House Bill number 11300 is approved on third reading. Majority Floor Leader?
Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 11301. This is the bill recognizing the Singapore School Manila as an educational institution. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved. Secretary is directed to comply into procedural call vote.
An act recognizing Singapore School Manila as an educational institution of international character and granting certain prerogatives conducive to its development and growth. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Po, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative, 0 abstention, House Bill number 11301 is approved on third reading. And finally, Majority Floor Leader.
Finally, Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 11302. This is the bill recognizing the Singapore School Manila Green Campus as an educational institution. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved. Senate Secretary is directed to comply and to proceed with roll call vote.
An act recognizing Singapore School Manila Green Campus as an educational institution of international character and granting certain prerogatives conducive to its development and growth. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Binay, Cayetano A, Cayetano P, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos, Padilla, Pimentel, Po, Revilla, Tolentino, Tulfo, Villanueva, Villar C, Villar M, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative, 0 abstention, House Bill number 11302 is approved on third reading.
Mr. President,
Majority Floor Leader.
the good minority, the distinguished minority leader is urgently seeking the floor. I move that he be recognized.
What is the pleasure of the Honorable Minority Floor Leader, the Honorable Aquilino Pimentel?
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today on a question of privilege. That's why I'm asking for the understanding of our colleagues that their explanation.
I yield, Mr. President, to the minority leader.
Thank you. May be heard later, Mr. President. Under Section
The
107,
gentleman may proceed.
under Section 107 of the Rules of the Senate, Section 107, questions of privilege are those affecting the rights, privileges, reputation, conduct, decorum, and dignity of the Senate or of its members, as well as the integrity of its proceedings. Because of the impeachment case against the Vice President, the Senate itself is now on trial. The reputation and dignity of this institution we hold so dear, painstakingly built up by the many senators who have served before us, together with our own efforts, are now being attacked online and in the real world out there. Outside our own gates this morning, there was a demonstration involving a substantial number of our constituents. The root cause of this is the apprehension of our people, based on recent pronouncements and developments, that there will be no impeachment trial against Vice President Sara Duterte. Respected academic institutions and other organizations have spoken with one voice. We call on the Senate of the Philippines to comply with its constitutional duty to forthwith proceed with the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Z. Duterte. These are the UP College of Law Faculty, the Philippine Political Science Association, the San Beda University Graduate School of Law, the Ateneo School of Government, De La Salle University, University of Santo Tomas, and Adamson University, among others. I am submitting copies of their statements to the Secretariat to form part of the records of the Senate. The people have also taken to Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and other social media platforms to voice their concerns
Karamihan sa mga civil society groups, tutol doon sa impeachment complaint na yon. Tungkol sa corruption din yon, tungkol sa pag-aabuso din ng poder yon, parehong mga grounds, dahil yun naman ang ground ng impeachment talaga eh. Anong sinabi nung halos parehong grupo ngayon na gusto ang ulo ni Vice President Sara? Ay, masama yung impeachment yan. Hindi yan dapat i-file. Dapat i-dismiss nyo yan. Mabuting tao si Chief Justice Davide. Nagsalita pa ang mga miyembro ng Senado noon. Kahit padala ng Kamara sa amin, hindi namin tatanggapin yan. Sinabi din po ng Senado noong mga panahon yun. At saka busy kami sa budget. Kailangan muna namin unahin yan bago yan. Babalik ko ang katanungan. Nagbabago ba? Depende kung sinong may gusto. Hindi ba dapat kung ano yung pamantayan at batayan kaugnay ng impeachment complaint, sino man ang nasasakdal? Pareho at parehas ang pagtrato natin. Ngayon, kaugnay ng kasalukuyang impeachment complaint, nakalagay po sa rules ng Senado, ang impeachment proceedings dapat i-refer sa Committee on Justice. Ang ginawa ng Senado, bagaman pareho ang rules natin na bahagi ng ating President, ni-refer sa Committee on Rules na siyang naging hudyat para buuin ang impeachment court. Sa Estados Unidos, kung saan natin kinopya ang karamihan ng mga provision ng ating impeachment rules, ang mga miyembro ng Kamara na naghain ng impeachment o mga prosecutors, sila ang nagbabasa niyan. So, nung nakita po namin sa parte ng Secretariat, yung President na yon, nung nakita po namin yung provision na dapat sa Committee on Justice i-refer, sinuggest namin na basahin yung Articles of Impeachment ng prosecutors mismo. Sa Senado, hindi pa sa Korte. Para magsilbing hudyat yon ng pag-convene ng impeachment court at panunumpa ng mga judges ng impeachment court. Yung po sana ang nakatalagang gawin sa June 11. Nasabi po ni Senator Villanueva, ano nga bang pagkakaiba? June 2, June 3, June 5, June 4, June 9, June 10, June 11. Kung susundan natin ang ginawa ng mga ibang impeachment court sa mga nagdaang panahon, ini-issue lamang nila yung summons para mabigyan ng sapat na panahon. Ang